Welcome to Dr. Rajesh Verma's YouTube channel. In this video, we'll be discussing the sensory process and particularly visual sensory process. You are well aware that what sensory process is. If you're not, certainly you're watching this video. In a nutshell, in introductory session, let me explain you the information that travels through your senses. What actually your senses do is okay, don't worry. I'll not explain everything in the first slide. Step by step, as usual, introductory session, brief introduction, some definitions, some processes, and the particular process we'll be discussing in this slide. I hope you will enjoy this. Now let us start. We'll go for the definition. What is sensation? Simple. Sensing the external or internal stimuli through your senses. Suppose there is some visual stimulus. Someone is moving, or you want to see something. There is or something in front of you. The mere senses that something is there. That information, that light falls on the individual or that object, reflects from that object and travels through your eyes to your brain processes. Before that information processes, up to that the process is sensing or sensation. Well, what is sensory process? The process of detection of external or internal stimuli through the activation of sense organs. Here the important point is our sense organs are activated by virtue of some availability of some either external or internal stimuli. What are the sensory organs that activated through this? Generally or usually we discuss these 5 sense organs only: eyes, ear, nose, skin and tongue. Then we'll discussing sensory process in detail. So human activities are the results of the orders of brain which gets inputs from the various sense organs. Any activity you are doing or you are engaged in are the resultant of the orders you are getting from your brain. Why? Because brain itself is incapable of sensing the objects. It's a processing center. And the sense organs are your windows to the world. From this world, either it can be your internal, it can be external. That information is received by the sense organs and they are activated by this information, and from that the information travels to the brain. You know, when we process an information, when we receive an information and we interpret that information in certain terms, this total effort is a collective effort of what? Your sense organs, neurons, tissues, muscles, bones, your brain and mind. All these, your organs, your body objects and everything, these things, they collectively work together and simultaneously. They work individually as well as collectively, and simultaneously they act, and what they do is they help the individual in receiving the information, then that information is organized and finally interpreted in meaningful terms. This whole process comes under the sensory process. How these sense organs interpret various physical stimuli? How this? Because they have sensory receptors which are nothing but specialized cells. What they do is these specialized cells which are found in each sense organ, they transform the stimuli, physical stimuli, external or internal, into electrochemical signals, which is technically known as neural impulse, And these neural impulses that travels to your brain center through various channels to your specific brain centers via various nerves. Optic nerve in the case of visual, auditory nerve in the case of hearing and all. Similarly, so in nutshell, the whole process of converting physical stimuli that can be internal as well as external into neural impulses is known as sensory process. If someone asks you what is sensory process in a line, you can say the transforming the physical stimuli into neural impulses. That is the limits or only the function of your senses. Senses never understand what object is. Suppose you are seeing this video, you are watching this video. Your two sense organs are engaged in this. One, visually, you are watching some the monitor through. You may be watching from your laptop or through your mobile phone. On that screen, you are seeing something, some written, some photos, and simultaneously you are hearing my voice. So here, what your eyes particularly are not seeing all these things. Your eyes are what they are doing is they are sensing the stimuli and passing on to your brain. But one thing your receptors are doing is they are converting, transforming that physical stimuli into sorry, physical stimuli into neural impulses. So this is the purpose of your sense organs. Along with that, we have some sensory limits. It is not that your sense organs can hear, look, or visualize, or hear, or taste anything, but they have certain limitations. Nature has limited, provided limited scope, such as our eyes, human eyes cannot see beyond visible spectrum of 380 to 780 nanometers. So it's very easy to remember here. In this nanometer, that range, 80 is common. So you would remember 3 and 7. Means that visual spectrum of visual spectrum that our human eyes are capable of seeing is 380 to 780 nanometers. Similarly, our ears, they cannot hear beyond 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Now, there is a stimulus or a stimulus should have a minimum value to initiate a sensation. It is not that any stimuli can initiate the sensation. That stimuli, either it can be your visual, auditory, or tactile, or olfactory, or you can say anything else, the fifth one, they should have a minimum value so that our sense organs can be activated. That minimum value of stimulus that is required to activate a given sensory system is known as absolute threshold or absolute limit. Clear? Means that is the minimum requirement a stimulus should have, and that is known as absolute threshold or absolute limit. Now we will start our visual sensory process. Visual sensory process means transducing the visual stimuli into neural impulse. A simple thing. What visual sensory means, what your eyes do is your eyes simply transforms or transduce the visual stimuli into neural impulse. We know light, that is electromagnetic radiation, visible to human eyes is 380 to 780 nanometers, onsets the visual sensory process. Means light is the first component that initiates the sensory process, that to visual in human. The light when reflected from an object and enters into the eye, it initiates a process. Human eye is a specialized sense organ that detects light and transduce into neural impulse, which I explained earlier too. Attributes of the color, first is our brightness, which determines the amplitude of the light wave, and it is a intensity of light. Saturation means highest saturation where it is a purest color, and red color. Why red is known as red, why blue is known as blue, why green is known as green. This is by virtue of their hue, and which is purely independent of intensity or lightness of that particular color. So these are the three. This beautiful image you can in front of you. You can take it from the look at the internet. Also, these are my references. You can always cross check them. So, dear friends, it was today's our topic. That is, uh, you call it as a sensory process visual. So, next video will be structure and function of human eye. This video we'll be meeting the soon with next video, and I told you next video is structure and function of human eye. By the time, if you have any doubt or you want to say something, if you love this video, you can share with your friends. But if you have something to say, kindly share with me. You can write in my comment box, and you can write at me on my email varmasujit@yahoo.com. Once again, thanks friends for watching this video.